Today on the LA Food Podcast, a 1-2 punch for the ages as we're joined by the organizers of the ultimate wildfire relief benefit dinner, followed up by an interview with one of the most influential LA chefs of the last decade. In part 1, we catch up with Brad Metzger, president of hospitality recruitment firm Brad Metzger Restaurant Solutions, and Ryan O'Melveny Wilson, the CEO of legendary Los Angeles restaurant group Lawry's, to hear about Chefs Love LA, an unforgettable evening of food and wine celebrating LA heroes and supporting the restaurant community impacted by the fires. World-famous chefs including Curtis Stone, Jonathan Waxman, Danielle Bouloud, Nyesha Harrington, Jordan Kahn, and many, many more are all uniting on February 27th for what promises to be a culinary live aid happening at Lawry's The Prime Rib in Beverly Hills. All proceeds will be benefiting World Central Kitchen and Restaurants Care, and Brad and Ryan join us to talk about how this epic event came together, what it aims to achieve, and how you can be a part of it. In part 2, we're joined by a chef who many credit with putting Peruvian food on the map in Los Angeles and beyond. I'm talking about Ricardo Zarate. Ricardo opened the cevicheria known as the Hummingbird in Echo Park in 2024, and many hailed it as a sort of a comeback. But speaking with Ricardo, it's clear that the Hummingbird is a lot more than that. It's the first restaurant since his very early days at the award-winning Mochica that he's fully in the driver's seat of his own operation. He joins us to tell us all about his new project, and of course we talk food, but we also talk about what it means to him to finally own his own business outright after several roller coaster years of playing push and pull with outside investors. It's a super frank, super inspiring conversation about pursuing your passion, listening to your gut, and finding the strength to course correct in the midst of life's twists and turns. As always, please consider leaving us a rating or review. I'm your host, Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, let's chow down. The LA Food Podcast is presented by The Lonely Oyster. Unwind at The Lonely Oyster's Echo Park Night Watch. Did you know that every night is industry night at The Lonely Oyster, dear listener? Stroll in after 10 p.m. nightly for a one-of-a-kind experience designed for the night owls and hospitality pros. Indulge in $12 handshake cocktails, expertly crafted liquid chef concoctions, delicious late-night hot bites, and chef's choice dozen oysters. More than just a place to unwind, The Lonely Oyster warmly welcomes industry professionals, providing a space where like-minded individuals can connect, relax, and enjoy the camaraderie that comes with the late-night scene. Whether you're looking to kick back after a long shift or simply enjoy the vibrant atmosphere, late night at The Lonely Oyster is the perfect rendezvous for those who appreciate good company and great food and drinks. Don't miss this nightly affair and let the good times roll at The Lonely Oyster. Welcoming to the LA Food Podcast today, it's not Father Saul, but two much more impressive individuals. I'm talking about Brad Metzger, president of Brad Metzger Restaurant Solutions, and Ryan O'Melveny Wilson, CEO of Lawry's Restaurants. Brad, Ryan, how you guys doing today?
Excellent. Thank you. Great to be here.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's great to be here, Luca.
Good. Well, thank you so much for making time in your busy schedules for joining us. The reason we're joined by you guys today is because you've been working on something pretty special for wildfire relief. Brad, what is Chefs Love LA?
Chefs Love LA is a benefit dinner we're hosting at Lawry's, thanks to Ryan and Tiffany and the team over there. It's a really special, I think pretty unprecedented dinner in that we have like people like Daniel Bouloud coming, Jonathan Waxman, Ludo, William Bradley, Jeremy Fox, Cimarusti. The list goes on and on. You got to just probably go on the website and check it out. There's many other chefs. The website is chefslovela.com. It's February 27th at Lawry's, and we are doing a VIP Michelin experience cocktail party hosted by Ruth Reichel with many Michelin chefs doing past appetizers.
Wow.
And then we have a seated dinner. And all of our ticket sales and sponsorship go directly to World Central Kitchen and Restaurants Care. Restaurants Care is part of the California Restaurant Association, and funds go directly to hospitality workers in need due to the fires.
That's epic. Ron, I'm going to want to hear from you what you thought when Brad came to you with this idea. But first, I want to hear from you, Brad. How did this event even come together? It seems like a pretty huge undertaking to put together so quickly.
It is. It's been interesting. It's been a lot of work. To be honest, the day of the fires, January 6th, I had planned to come to Mammoth. So even like as the fire or even before, I was in the car driving to Mammoth. So I was here when all of this was going down. And I have some very close friends that lost their homes. And I was in a dark place.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. I felt bad that I wasn't there in the aftermath. The days, right afterwards, everyone was volunteering, serving food and everything. And I was gonna go back home, but our house is in Santa Monica. We're right on the edge, and my wife said the air quality is horrible. I do not want to be home.
Mm-hmm.
She was there. She was there while I was here. So she basically evacuated. So I didn't even have a house to go home to. So I stayed here. Like I said, I was sort of in a dark place, very sad about my friends who lost their homes, sad that I wasn't able to help. In the same day, an incredible chef who's a private chef and big CCAP supporter and just an amazing human being. Her name is Sarah Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
She lost her home. She has 3 kids. They had to evacuate very quickly, so they didn't get a lot of their items that they would have taken. And I saw a post that she posted on Instagram, and it was all about when you're in a hardship situation, how helpful it is to help other people at that time in your life, even though you are under extreme hardship. So she did not have a home, okay? She started volunteering, okay? And her and I were texting back and forth. I didn't want to call her because I didn't want to bother her. She called me. She was the one that lost her house, but she was consoling me because I was really sad for my friends. Okay. Then later that day, I get a text from Michael Puglisi from Herd and Grace Meat Company. He's like, Brad, we want to supply meat. You're so connected, how can we help? Right. So I gave him some ideas, and then I started thinking, right? And that's what turned it around for me. Sarah's call, her post, Michael wanting to help. And I said, okay, it took me out of my, negative vibe, the sadness that I had. And then it just dawned on me, okay, Michael wants to donate product. I'm sure other companies want to donate product. What do? I do events. I've done the LA Chef Conference. I know how to pull chefs together and do events. So literally that evening, I texted my friends at Worldwide Produce. I texted back Michael from the meat company, Herd and Grace.
Mm-hmm.
I texted Alfredo from Santa Monica Seafood, and I texted Justin from Chef's Warehouse. Okay. Literally within half an hour, everyone said, yes,
Wow.
Whatever you need. Because I had proposed, hey, I want to do an event. Will you donate the product? Boom. Everyone said yes, literally within half an hour of the text. And then I said, okay, where are we going to do it? I said, okay, our good friends, Tiffany and Ryan at Lawry's, that would be a perfect spot. It's central. It's big, right? I texted them. They said, absolutely. Let's talk tomorrow. So literally within hours, we had the framework. So that's how it was born.
Wow. That's such a testament to just the generosity and sort of like, literal hospitality of the people that work in this industry. Ryan, it sounds like that's where you entered the chat. A, how did you experience the sort of first days of the fires? And obviously as a business owner, I'm assuming you had a lot of considerations to make, but B, what'd you think when, Brad knocked on your door?
I live in Orange County. So it was windy down here, but it was oddly clear and beautiful, 5th, 6th, 7th. But nevertheless, I have a lot of family in Pasadena, and only one family member lost a home in Altadena, tragically, but multiple were evacuated. And, you initially go to just making sure everyone is physically okay and what's the update. And then we shifted into understanding what's happening at the Tamashader, our restaurant on Los Feliz Boulevard. We closed that day primarily because so many of our coworkers were displaced and confused and focused on their own well-being and their families. And it was the right thing to do. Beverly Hills, Lawry's Beverly Hills continued to operate. And that was, again, we stayed close to our managers and our coworkers and wanted to know what they need. And many of them said, we're okay. And, we want to continue to go back to work and keep life as normal. And amazingly, wonderfully, none of our immediate coworkers lost a home. Of course, some family and friends. But yeah, amazingly, I think that our immediate community was very, very lucky and fortunate. But, as Brad was relaying, it was just a state of disbelief. And again, being down here, it was, you couldn't even see any smoke. It was wild. Yet I'm talking to family and hearing the reports, and it's getting scarier and scarier. And also, I live in a community here in Corona del Mar that is geographically very similar to the Palisades.
Mm-hmm.
There's open space. I live 50 yards from open space, and it could very well have happened in our home, and it's something that's a constant reminder. And I think also, as Brad relayed, it was just an overwhelming feeling of overwhelm and a little dismay and confusion and fear. And I remember it was Wednesday, I think it was a Wednesday, we had a call internally just confirming some of our closures and marketing plans. And my message to our teams is, guys, we are all leaders of a really powerful brand, a really powerful hospitality brand, and our community needs it, right? Our community needs that consistent experience and being able to put life down for a little bit and come into the TAM. So of course we're going to offer sandwiches. Of course we're going to, figure out any opportunity we can to donate to fire relief and first responders. We quickly met with a lot of challenges just logistically of how to donate food. So we found fire stations, et cetera, that we could donate to and stay connected to our community and continue to offer, sandwiches and some relief to fire victims today. But I remember, I think it was a Sunday afternoon, Brad, and I was scrambling around, packing, doing something. And I remember your text coming through, and it took me about 3 minutes just to flip around and, well, of course we're going to host this. Of course we're going to figure this out. And then I left town for a couple of days and was a little disconnected just in a travel day. And I remember just watching a text thread when I landed. It was amazing how far and how fast Brad and Tiffany and my team had moved on things. And yeah, kudos really to Brad and Jackie and the whole Restaurant Solutions team. I mean, it's been amazing and a real privilege to work with you guys and super fun to be a part of it. So we're really honored. Living
up to that name, Solutions, right there. Seriously, that's such a cool story.
There you go.
Now, you've obviously listed off a number of the chefs that are going to be cooking that night. What was their response when you reached out? Were they all happy to jump in? Any tough nuts to crack?
I mean, of course, there were people that I had reached out to that were busy or they have travel, but I'm used to wrangling chefs.
I was going to say, I'm a former chef, and chefs are disorganized. Let's be honest. So
yeah, I've been in my recruiting firm. I've been wrangling chefs for 21 years. On the LA Chef Conference side, I've been wrangling them to get involved with my event since 2018. I have never had an easier time than this.
Yeah.
To wrangle anybody, the chefs, the vendors, everybody. So, people were available. They said yes. I couldn't believe when Danielle Bouloud said yes. I was like, what? Am I reading this email correctly? He wants to do it. And he even emailed back that he will be doing a lobster soup.
Wow.
All right, cool. Let's roll. And Ruth Reichel, I sent some information to her. She called me and she's like, I'm coming. I'm like, okay, can I take care of airfare? She's like, no, I'll use my points. I go, do you need any place to stay? No, I'll stay at Nancy's. I always stay at Nancy's. It's like, okay. She's like, who else? Who else can we get? Who? She's like, how about Jonathan Waxman? I go, that'd be amazing. She goes, okay, I'm going to call Jonathan. Literally 10 or 15 minutes later, she called me, said, Jonathan's in.
Wow.
Like, to get Jonathan Waxman, like, across the country, it takes a lot. But people know how bad this is, and people know how important it is to support LA and LA restaurants and hospitality professionals. So, you know what? Even Phil Rosenthal, right? I mean, Phil has done LA Chef Con, so we have a relationship there. Phil not only said, yes, I will come and be one of the hosts, he said, I want to be the title sponsor. And he put in a bunch of money paid directly to Restaurants Cares.
Wow.
Cares. So, yeah, it's a lot of organization and it's a lot of steps, but in terms of getting people on board to support this, it hasn't been exceptionally difficult.
Everybody go watch Somebody Feed Phil just to thank the man, honestly. That's really cool to hear. So what about people who want to come and support, want to come to the event? What can they expect from the evening?
They can expect two experiences. One is the VIP experience, including 7 Michelin level chefs, John Yao, Curtis Stone, Simarusti, Josiah, et cetera, et cetera. They are doing an hour past app walk around with elevated, amazing wines and champagnes and spirits. And then the sit down dinner is an 8-course dinner plated. And, what's really fun there is we're doing not only just chefs doing dishes, but we're doing really cool collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
So Nyesha is doing a dish with Jonathan Waxman. They're doing a pasta, and we're bringing in my friend Luigi, who just opened Al Dente Pasta Shop in West LA within a few weeks ago, and he's going to supply the pasta. And then Raj from Torinix Gourmet is going to supply the truffles. So that's one dish. And then in terms of other collab dishes, we have Jeremy Fox collaborating with the Yangbang crew, so John and Kat Hong. And we have Suzanne Goin doing, get this, she's going to do her take on the Lawry spinach salad.
Wow. You're letting this happen, Ryan?
Sure.
Yes.
I love it.
That's epic. That's good. So that this is all really amazing. Honestly, like people would pay a lot of money to go to this if it was just a food festival. The fact that the proceeds are going to such an amazing cause, I think, really just ups the ante. So everybody should absolutely go visit this. I have a question for you, Ryan. Obviously, like these have been some incredibly tough months and honestly years for restaurants in the past couple years. And I think a lot has been said about how the wildfires have exacerbated that situation in terms of dining rooms being empty, et cetera. Would you echo that?
Absolutely. We have been very fortunate, I think, in part because of the legacy of our brand, and we're fourth generation deep of being a part of the LA community. So we've weathered these situations in various of them over the last 5 years pretty well. But this one, coming out of the holidays, which is a really important time for us and a lot of families to celebrate, and then so quick after to have this sort of shock to everyone's system and to our business. I just looked. We just had a pre-meeting for a board meeting, and we're off significantly, 10-15% to last year. So
yeah,
that's LA wide. Tam O'Shanter is more than that.
Yeah.
So we're seeing every day things recover, but I think it's doubly challenging right now because we're in the beginning of Dine LA. And that's always a huge driver of sales for us in January. And people just aren't really out dining and just starting to come back to seeing life as normal for those of them that weren't too deeply impacted. So yeah, we're definitely seeing it.
So how important, do you think this event could be, not just to, obviously give back to those impacted by the wildfires, but almost to hit reset on folks going out to restaurants and really inspiring that sort of, commerce to pick back up?
Yeah. You're echoing a conversation I know is happening at the California Restaurant Association of how do we just loudly market it? Like just get out and dine, right? Like go take a break and go support your communities. And there's such a powerful ripple effect through any community and people's ways of life when restaurants are busy and active. It's keeping a lot of people at work. It's keeping a lot of other products moving through our systems, and it's a nice way to relax and enjoy each other. So I think it's very important. I think it's powerful and a good reminder that restaurants are a critical component of our culture. So we got to get out there and save them and support them.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, last question for you both. Where can people go to sign up for this event? And are tickets already on sale?
Tickets go on sale Saturday at 10 a.m. www.chefslovela.com. All the information is there. The chefs, the program. And by the way, I did forget to mention, we are going to be honoring first responders. As a matter of fact, people can sponsor first responders or community heroes because we're going to honor both of those people, such as your friend David Turkel is invited as a guest, and we are going to honor him and some other people that have done exceptional things since the fire started. And he did his pizza program.
Alliance.
Exactly. So we're going to honor him. We're going to honor Kim Prince, Greg Doolin, Mary Sue and Susan for their work with World Central Kitchen. There's a young lady named Rebecca King.
Oh, yeah.
Who snapped into action and did some amazing coordination and put people together who wanted to help. So we're honoring those people. If the Fire Chief Crowley is listening to your podcast, we have an email into her people to have her as the guest of honor. We're going to see if she's available. They were nice enough to email back, but if she's listening, I heard she might be a fan of the pod.
Look, the rumor on the street is,
Okay. So she's officially invited as the guest of honor. Hopefully she'll come. But yeah, www.chefslovela.com, all the information. And if we are sold out as of Saturday, we are trying to open up some more seats and will open up more seats. So my email and the contact email, community, and then Brad at restaurant-solutions, it's all over the website. If we're sold out and you really want to come, please email me or email the community email, because we are going to take a waiting list, and things change and open up and this and that. We'll do what we can.
Everybody, put a reminder in your calendar for this. It's literally like the Live Aid for like Los Angeles restaurants, all the star power,
Oh, wow.
It's I just want to say thank you to you guys for really jumping into action and for doing this. It's super important, and it's so cool to see all the chefs doing this. But thanks for taking the time to come and spread the message on the podcast.
Thank you. And thank you, Ryan, for hosting, you and Tiffany and your team. Thank you to the Rosenthal Family Foundation for title sponsorship, our friends at Pellegrino and Open Table, impact sponsors, for making this happen and doing very generous donations directly to these charities.
And thank you to Brad Metzger. He is an incredible man, an incredible leader of our community. So thank you, Brad. And Luca, pleasure to meet you. And this has been a great chat. We should talk pizza sometime.
Oh, literally anytime you want, Ryan. Thank you both. Links in the show notes. Everybody go. We'll see you there.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Dear listener, I made a deal with my wife. She let me start a food podcast and eat ungodly amounts of noodles, pizza, sandwiches, and more under 2 conditions. One is that I never utter her name. The other is that I find ways to be healthy outside of my work in food. Being the fantastic partner I am, I found a few ways to up my health game. I exercise almost every day, I try to sneak in salads for lunch whenever I can, and I only ever snack on healthy foods. The macadamia nut has become an essential part of my daily routine, with the best omega-6 to 3 ratios in the nut game, 8 times better than pistachios and 20 times better than cashews. At houseofmacadamias.com, they've got a bunch of different macadamia products that you can enjoy, like savory and sweet snack packs and chocolate-covered snack bars. One of the problems with macadamias I've found is that they can be expensive, but I'm solving this for you, dear listener, because as of today, all you've got to do is head to houseofmacadamias.com and use code LAFOOD to get a 10% discount on a healthy snack that also happens to be delicious. So what are you waiting for? Head to www.houseofmacadamias.com/discount/LAFood and go nuts. I am stoked because today we are joined by one of my favorite chefs in Los Angeles ever since I arrived here back in 2010, and it's Chef Ricardo Zarate. Chef, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. Chef, because this is primarily an audio format, can you tell our listeners where we are recording this today?
Yeah, we're recording on my restaurant called the Hummingbird. It's on 1600 North Alvarado Street, 90029.
Wow, okay. People don't even need to Google it because you just gave them the entire address. Chef, can you describe the restaurant for people?
I mean, this restaurant is made with love, like you can see down there, behind me. But it's a small restaurant. This is, to be honest, I went through a lot in my life. Opened many restaurants. Most of them very high-end, fancy, a lot of money. But in the end, this is made with love. So this is why could I afford, and I opened this beautiful, I don't know how to describe it, but it's made with love.
Yeah.
So basically the theme in here is a seafood house, but mainly it's a Peruvian Japanese cuisine, which is called Nikkei. Mm-hmm. But the whole decoration in here is kind of like resembling the ocean. No? You can see the lower part is the bottom side of the ocean. The top marble on the top is kind of like the shallow part of the top of the ocean, and the background, the white tiles, it represent the sky. So I was thinking about all these little details because I wanted to still create a good vibe, energy when you come inside, even, it was not done with $1 million. And then the light in the back, it represents the sunsets.
Yeah, the
So,
neon light.
Yeah, the neon,
that
like
says
the
muchísimo.
color, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of the sunset thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the whole. So when you come in here, I call it ceviche house because it feels like you're in the sunset, the ocean. You know, it's a small place, very cozy. That was the whole idea on the design of this place.
Well, I don't know if you meant to do this, but I feel like it really feels like we're like in Miraflores here or something. You know, like it has that vibe to it. It feels like nice, but like, you know, you walk in here and you know you're gonna get some real food.
That's right. You know, not only Miraflores. I used to live in London, in England.
Yeah.
And this is more like the small little restaurants I used to live, you know, like local places. They have this intimacy, you know, this kind of like a very friendly but good cuisine, you know. Yeah. And that's what I wanted to do. I mean, this is a very community restaurant. I was looking for that place, for this sort of place for a long time. When I found it, I was thinking, this is the place, you know. And then especially this area, I cannot be more glad and talking really truly from the bottom of my heart. I'm more happy than the whole welcoming I get from the community, which I live very close to.
Oh yeah.
But the people is very supportive, you know, and I wanted to bring something cool to the community. So that's what's happening. Yeah.
Because this was a pupusa restaurant for a long time, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, many years with, you know, it was pupusa Mexican food, I think, Salvadorian Mexican, and they've been here for more than 20 years.
Wow.
Before that was a meat market, you know, and this place have a lot of history. So I wanted to keep that essence, you know, also, you know, to come into the community, but don't bring something, you know, like trying to blend a little bit, but also I'm a chef for more than 30 years, so I have to share my skills, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
And that's what you're doing, clearly, because already the Hummingbird has received a lot of accolades. I saw that you were just named to the Infatuation's Best New Restaurants, so congratulations for that.
Thank you so much. I was not expecting any of this, but obviously, you know, when we cook with a lot of effort and working hard, so yes, it's very welcoming, and I'm very, very blessed, to be honest.
Well, so people who have been in Los Angeles for 10 plus years, like myself, right, they're familiar with your concepts and your cuisine, right? We've had your food at Mochica, had your food at Rosaline, Causita, all these places. What makes the Hummingbird unique?
The Hummingbird, first of all, is all the concepts I create, you know, and I have a lot of experience opening restaurants. Plus, I have a lot of experience closing restaurants too, you know. So, but Hummingbird is a very special concept for me because the Hummingbird is my nickname when I was in Peru. You know, my family called me, my neighborhoods called me Hummingbird, in Spanish called colibri. And that's my nickname. The reason they call me like that, because I love cooking since I have memory. So I was, the first cooking was in my family. I learned everything from my family. But then I started getting bored because I was thinking, I don't know if they really say I'm cooking good or just because, you know, when your family embrace you, say, bravo, you good. Yeah. So, and everything I was cooking from then. So then I started going to my neighbors secretly on the weekends after school and say, hey, can you teach me how to cook? So and I will help in the moms how to cook, you know, peeling potatoes, whatever I need to do in the kitchen. But I will learn different techniques or different flavors, you know, something that it was not ready in my house. Then I will go out back and cook in my house. And then I was like, wow, where
did you learn this?
Yeah, where did you learn this? But this is different. Then I will go to my next neighbor, and my next neighbor, so my neighbors start calling me, oh, this is the little Hummingbird coming. Yeah. That's where my nickname comes from.
Did you do this because you liked food, because you liked cooking? Like what? Like why did you go to the neighbors' houses?
Because I connect with food since little. I think art. This is a question I always ask my life. What is art and what is, you know, is love. You know, in a certain at one point is you express love through something, you know, through an instrument, through food, to art, to paint. So I was connected on that, and I knew I wanted to be a chef the rest of my life. I don't know if I wanted to be a chef, but I knew I was going to cook. When I was 11 years old, I always was thinking I'm going to open a restaurant one day. Wow. At that age, and I remember that, and I was telling my neighbors I'm going to open a restaurant. Now here I am after so many restaurants.
So many restaurants later. And so you were, I understand you also started catering when you were that young, like by yourself?
Oh yeah, you did your studies. Huh? Like I was cooking and I wanted to also, make some money. I'm not like I didn't have a privileged childhood, so I was cooking in the streets pretty much in to make money, and I was creating this like called anticuchos, the skewers. I was cooking in the streets. I was selling tickets. I remember that my friends or the friends of my brothers, because I was very young, they will go and play soccer, football, no, what we call it football, in the weekends. So I will, after the games, they will go to this certain place, and I will open the barbecue, and I will make the anticuchos, and I will sell tickets, pre-sell tickets, because I didn't have the money. So I will sell them tickets 1 week in advance, and they all will come to this corner, they eating and drinking, wherever, and that's how I was making a little money, for that time.
And so anticuchos, we're talking like grilled. I remember when I was, we would have like grilled hearts and stuff like that, right? Like it's these kinds of cuts of meats that we're
it's like, in Japanese, they will call it like yakitoris or skewers, In Peru, the main one is the beef heart, which is anticucho de corazón. That was actually the one who made me very popular in Pica. But that's what we eat, and it's delicious,
Yeah, that's amazing. And so then you went to culinary school in Lima, I think, right?
Yeah.
And you ended up in London. How did you end up in London?
Again, so it's all about the love for, or the passion for cooking, So I went to study in Lima, but in that time in Lima, when I was young, there were not many schools. Peru is still developing. The cuisine always were there, but we didn't have Gaston Acurio yet ready, So not many people knew Peruvian cuisine, and the Peruvian cuisine is still not many culinary schools were in there. So, but I wanted to cook. I was learning from books from France. I was translating myself the books. I swear to God, I was so into the cooking. Until one day I met somebody who was in London, a friend of mine who emigrated there, and he came from vacation. He told me, "You should come to London. I help you." I said, Are you for sure? Yeah, just come. So I went to the embassy and applied for a visa, and applied for a student visa with working permit part-time. And they gave it to me, and I ended up selling my, and collecting money from my brothers. I went to London, and I just a one-way ticket.
Yeah.
And ended up studying down there,
And I understand that you started, you went with the goal of cooking, and you ended up having to start as a dishwasher.
Yeah, because I didn't speak the language. My first job was a dishwasher. I will never forget. It was at Benihana restaurant.
Yeah.
And that time, Benihana was the most successful concept in the world. So I was working at Chelsea area, Chelsea area. That was the restaurant. And yes, that was my first job. In the meantime, I could not afford just being with the salary of a dishwasher. So I have to clean offices from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Yeah.
So that was a long ass day for you.
Yes, I mean, it's all a learning experience. I'm immigrant, and I learned how, I call myself good immigrant. So I went through everything that everybody went there, So it's part of part of being an immigrant, to start building up everything from scratch. I did it. It was painful. I'm not gonna deny.
Yeah,
it was not easy, but then you see the progress when you start growing and seeing the change. Like I remember the first time when I start understanding English was the most exciting part for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you start with the bad words or with the good words?
I start with that. Is everything all right?
In a British accent.
Yeah, no, it's funny because the way I did it was I need to learn sentences.
Yeah.
And I was working all day, and I say I cannot go to bed without one sentence. So in my brain, before I go to bed, I was repeating the sentence. How are you? Is everything all right? So I was learning it, and I was using it.
Yeah.
And that's how I pretty much learned in the streets. But then I went to school for English.
Yeah. And I understand you eventually made it to being an actual hibachi chef at Benihana.
Yes.
What was that like? Because we've all been to Benihana, and that looks like a pretty fun job when it comes to the culinary world.
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard I'm being always competitive, and I promise myself I'm not gonna stop to get there. So I work really hard as a dishwasher. Very soon, 3 months later, the chef promoted me to prep, prepping. But then my goal was I need to go there. Then I went to like tempura. Then I like 8 months, I think they start doing my training to do the hibachi chef, cooking in front of the customer. So pretty much when I arrived, it took me 1.5 years to be cooking in front of people. But the funny part is most of the time I didn't understand nothing they were saying to me in English. Until now, sometimes it happens. But it's funny that I have to say, yeah, right, yes. I was saying like, I didn't know why you were asking me or why you were telling me. I was just cooking.
Well, British English is weird too, because
Yeah.
they have all different mannerisms and different ways of saying things. So I can see how that got tough.
No, the most funny experience I have, one day I went to work to this hotel, the Metropolitan Hotel, No, Millennium Hotel, sorry. And then, no, the restaurant is on the 15th floor or something like that. The changing rooms are in the basement. So I was hired, and then the chef, Australian guy, which is Chris Bear, now my best friend, he was telling me, he told this Jerry, he was a Scottish guy, say, hey, show Ricardo the lockers and tell him, to get changed, explain the whole thing, induction. All right, so we're going to the elevator, or the elevator, the lift, yeah? And the guy was telling me everything, and I was just looking at him. He's double the size of me, which I'm not that tall. And then in the end, say, is everything okay? I said, yeah, can you repeat everything you just told me, but in English? I say, and he said to me, fuck off. That was my experience. He's a Scottish. I could not understand anything that he was
Crazy.
saying.
Yeah, such a small country, relatively speaking, to the United States,
Yeah.
but the accents are so wildly different. It's great.
Yes.
So you spent more than a decade in London.
15 years.
15 years. Wow. How did you go from London to Los Angeles?
To be honest, at that point, I was thinking I'm going to live forever in London. I mean, I was not planning to come back to my country, but I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to stay around here probably. So I was, I have very strong friends, like I create around me, friends, family, I call it. But then one day I was hired to do a consulting job here in Los Angeles at the Millennium Hotel, which is, I told you already work down there. So they hired me because they were planning to do something in downtown. Now the Biltmore Hotel.
Uh-huh.
So I came there, and I came for 6 months, and the project could not go through because downtown was not ready. So as you know, downtown so we have problems. And then I did that one. They offered me the Japanese restaurant in there, was the name Sai Sai. And I tried a little bit of Los Angeles in that moment. I stayed 6 months living in the hotel. Then I went back to London, and I could not take it from my mind, man, there is actually places with sun. So I grew up in the ocean, in the Pacific Ocean, Lima, Peru. All my life I saw the sun. When I went to London, literally I didn't see the sun. Very, very rare to see the sun in that moment. So it was I decided to come here because of the weather and and I feel more close to my culture, like there's more strong the Latin culture in here, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna give a try down there.
Yeah.
And I have some good connections in here, so that's how I come back.
And so I understand you were cooking at a fusion restaurant in Venice Beach or something, but in the back of your mind was this goal, I want to have my own restaurant, that you had since you were 11 years old.
Yeah. So I came here because I opened a few restaurants in my life, not mine. Before that, I was involved on the biggest one was the Zuma. I don't know if you heard of Zuma, Zuma.
Yeah.
The one they have Miami. Now it's all over the world. So I was part of the ones who helped to create the menu or to be part of the opening of the huge, incredible restaurant. Then they opened Roca. I came with the thing. I'm gonna open my own restaurant. But again, starting all over again, so it's hard. So the first place I went to live when I came from London was Marina del Rey, because it's the beaches. I'm done with this one. So, and it was expensive for the time, but it's okay. And I went to work I found this job in this restaurant, Wabi Sabi, Japanese restaurant. So, but one of the guy, which he knows Probably he ever heard this one. He would kind of remember this conversation, Bruce. He told me, hey, I can't afford you because, my CV was very strong. And this is a small restaurant. It's cool. It's neighborhood restaurant. And I said, listen, I'll do it if you give me the chance to come late. So because they open 5 o'clock, I'm planning to open my own business. And he said, go for it, And I found this location in La Paloma, where it's like really, at that time, La Paloma now is really cool, but at that time it was not that cool, I guess, or was too far away for the majority of the Angelinos. So, but I opened my little place in there called Mochica, and I started all over, and it was very exciting.
Well, you make it sound like it just happened, but I understand that you had to do a lot of cooking for people in order to try to get investment, in order to show, because Peruvian cuisine now, everybody knows Peruvian cuisine.
Yeah.
But back then, people weren't really familiar with the concept. You spent a lot of time cooking for investors, right?
Yeah, a lot of chefs do that, and it's actually a very nice question that you put in there. Yeah, we were cooking for a lot of, I was cooking for a lot of investors. I was trying to explain my concept, letting them try. They all love the food, but they always end up with the answer, I remember in that time. But nobody knows Peruvian cuisine. This is amazing. I didn't even believe what I was cooking was Peruvian. But that was at that time. I'm talking about 2008, 2007, 2009, when I'm trying to create my own, concept, So, but then after that, I have to open it myself, and it works.
And you used your own savings to do that, right?
Yeah, I risk it all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's a huge risk to take because restaurants fail a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, at that moment, I didn't thought about it. I just put it all in, and I say, I'm going to do it. I saw the opportunity, and I went there. So, actually, you're bringing a lot of good memories right now. It's really amazing that time. It was really amazing, and I will never change that or experience I have.
Well, what I think people don't realize, because Mochica went on to be so successful, right? Like that little stall in Mercado La Paloma, it got you to national attention, Food and Wine Best New Chef eventually, right? But for the first year you were doing that, you were at Mochica, and then you would take the bus to Wabi Sabi, or you drive over to Wabi Sabi?
No, I was driving all over, but I work hard. I cannot deny that.
That's
crazy. I will start at 5 o'clock in the morning, go and do the shopping. I will go do the shopping. Some of my chefs didn't have a car, so I have to go and pick him up.
That's what it was, yeah.
I have to pick him up, then take him back to the restaurant, and then do the whole shopping. Then I have to leave by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon because I need to go to work to Wabi Sabi till 12 o'clock. And that was at least for 1 year, or the first, at least for 1 year, I was doing that every day.
That's crazy.
So I remember when they called me and they say to me, I was driving in my car all the way to downtown to Venice. They called me and say, hey, you want Best New Chef? I said, yeah, sure. And basically I said, fuck off. I thought somebody was making a prank on me. And actually they were calling me to congratulate me, and I hung up the phone.
You were still working at Wabi Sabi when you got Best New Chef?
Yes.
And they called you and you didn't believe him?
I didn't believe it. They called me 4 times.
That's crazy.
And that's something that they always mention that, I could not believe it. I say, to me, who is, and it was not even in my mind that that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I don't think people realize how many waves Mochica made in Mercado La Paloma, because I think I told you this the first time we met when I came to dinner at the Hummingbird, but I moved to Los Angeles for good in 2010, and I lived right by Mercado La Paloma. Oh, wow. And I used to read Jonathan Gold religiously, and I saw, wait, you're telling me he wrote about Mochica, and I saw that it was right by my house.
Yeah.
So I came to your restaurant. I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with one dish specifically, which was the mushroom quinotto.
Oh, yes.
The mushroom quinoa risotto. And I loved it so much that I wanted to try and make it at home. But I couldn't find quinoa anywhere because I didn't know where to find it. They didn't have it at Ralph's. So I would go to your restaurant and ask to buy quinoa from you. And you would sell it to me. You probably don't even remember this. 18-year-old kid trying to buy a quinoa from your restaurant.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, that was good. I have a very huge memory with, you mentioned Jonathan Gold. I have the greatest respect and memory, about him. He put me in the map, and I really I could not believe it. And he came in there and he sit down in there, and I didn't know. I have no clue who he is. So I went to talk to him. Hey, we were talking like normal, many things. A week later, I saw a big review in LA Weekly in the time, and then after that, I could not catch up with the cash flow, you call it. Like I would run out of food. I have a life. What's going on? So that was a beautiful moment. Yeah.
And it was a glowing review. And then obviously, as we mentioned, all these accolades started pouring in and you got the opportunity to open more restaurants. But you said this was you never really had this in mind. What was all this success like for you when it started to pour in?
I mean, it was overwhelming, to be honest, because then you have a lot of people coming and you're not going to let it go. And it was a learning lesson experience, So I probably make a lot of mistakes in my life, But part of that was I didn't want to let go the opportunity. So I'm trying to grab everything and I'm trying to do the right thing. But I don't have the team. Remember, from the small, I opened a big restaurant like Pica, most successful restaurant, Paiche. So I need to build up a team really fast. And people, I need to be involved with people. I'm very glad I met them, but I was personally not ready to such a big growth so fast. So it happens, we grow very big. Unfortunately, I have to be a part of the whole companies or the investments. I'm not trying to blame anybody because this is part of life,
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the whole process. It helped me to mature, it helped me to understand. The one thing I really, really love is that definitely I'm part of the Angelinos culture, food culture, and I am very glad to see the whole transformation of that in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
It has been beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mention it but I think everybody's life has ups and downs, right? Every career has ups and downs, and you rose to such amazing success, and you got all these opportunities, and you made from what I understand, a decision to walk away from it at some point because it wasn't feeling right to you. It seems tough to walk away from, though, right? Because you had a lot of things going for you. Why'd you make that decision?
Well, it was a lot. I think, I'm a big believer on, I believe in God. I believe on the universe, on energy, I think it meant to happen, and it's something that you cannot let stop, you have to let it go, and sometimes it's moment to let it go. And it was a lot of signs, like not many people knows, but while I opened 4 restaurants in 2 years, they're all successful, and I didn't want to open some of them, but I was kind of like, there is a money moment,
Yeah.
But I did it. It was my decision. But it was overwhelming. I have my brother who always been next to me for, like all my life. We worked together in London. He passed away while I was in Pica, and that was a big punch for me, to be honest. That was, I still working hard, I still making, but I was numb.
Yeah.
So at one point, I thought like there was an opportunity to say, like it happens to him, but it means to finish someone.
Yeah. You obviously spent a couple years away from the restaurant scene in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah.
What did you do during those years?
I mean, to be honest, when the painful part of my life was when I lost my brother. But I come from a big family, so all my family came to visit. So I didn't realize that was happening. That one, when finally I kind of like I was a part of the restaurant. It was not my choice to be honest. It was a decision from the company. Probably they thought I'm not capable, and they found the excuse to separate me. So I was a moment to say, I need to take a break. So I was doing here and there, but most of the time I was very depressed. I was down, I needed to deal with that one, but it was very beautiful because it helps me to go more deeper on me and to understand, life in a different perspective. And then after that, I remember one day, my friend came to my house, say, hey, are you gonna cook or no? And that was when after 2 years, I remember I said, okay, fuck yes, let's do it. And I always say no. So I say, where? And we went to Venice on this restaurant called Santino's. It was an Argentinian restaurant. My friend knows the owner. And then the guy told me, what are you going to do? I'll give you the restaurant for the weekend. I say, yeah, I'll take it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I say, and I did a pop-up. And I call it Once. Once is number 11. And that I called that number because I'm the number 11 in my family.
Oh, nice.
So I put it like, you know what? This is my comeback this time. And it works. It works. We were really busy again. Then since then, I opened, like they came to offer me to open Rosalind. But I was very, I was traumatized making like deals or making partnership,
Yeah.
So I never made partnership. I was making just little, I said like consulting. I don't want a partnership because I was traumatized, the whole thing. So I opened Rosalind, and end up leaving Rosalind because I knew, after making money, people change.
Yeah.
Rosalind was very successful.
Very successful.
Incredible. Then open Vegas. Vegas, we have to close down because of the COVID. And since then, everything I was doing mainly consulting jobs, partners, minimum partnership. No, I never wanted to go in a full force. Like now, I'm very proudly to say the Hummingbird is fully 100% owned by me.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy.
Congratulations. Because I feel like, I did, as you said, I did some research for this, right?
Thank you.
And I feel like when you're reading about your career, so many times you read, the comeback of Ricardo Zarate, the comeback of Rosaline was heralded as your comeback. Then Colibri that you did last year, right? The pop-up, the Italian, Peruvian pop-up with Chef Michael Fiorelli. That was also heralded as a comeback. But I feel like this feels like the real comeback.
Yeah, because the other one, Colibri, which is being Hummingbird, it was more my preparation. I wanted to do different takes. I did the Colibri in Balcones in Hollywood because that was kind of like, I want to take, it was more like the traditional Peruvian. Then when I met Michael, and we decided to do a pop-up. We never decide to partnership. Let's do a pop-up. He have nothing to do. I found this location for a few months. I said, let's do a little pop-up. Let's do this Italian Peruvian. We have a lot of history on that one too. Until I found this place that I was really ready to do it. And I'm very happy to be here, to be honest.
Well, as I said, congratulations. I've had the chance to have dinner here and the food is absolutely fantastic. All of the food, all of the recognition that you're receiving, is so well-deserved. Can you give our listeners a quick rundown of your favorite dishes on the menu right now?
Okay. That's is, I'm going to say a few of the dishes, but this is like saying, who is your favorite kid? I remember one day my daughter told me, Daddy, and she put in the speaker, can you tell my brother who is your favorite child? I said, she wants to hear her name. I didn't say her name.
Backfired?
But it's, I mean, I'm very well known for ceviches. So all the ceviches in here are really good. The strongest one, the traditional one that I will never not put in my menu is the Sivas ceviche or the crispy ceviche with the calamari. That's a staple. That's something I always carry. I love it, to be honest. But we got the yellowtail, the salmon. It's very hard because all of them have their own. My strength is balance.
Yeah.
I know how to balance flavor. I know how to put different flavors together, but you will feel it eventually when you eat it. No, that's kind of my strength, I will say. Then when I do the rolls, the hand rolls is something that I love. My main practice as a chef was Japanese cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider myself a good sushi chef. So rolls, I understand. So rice, especially, like this restaurant doesn't look nothing Japanese,
Mm. You've got the bar.
The bar. Okay, let's give you the bar. Yeah. But what I love is when, I'm not trying to sound different, but sometimes I get like really Asian, like Japanese customers. They come and they try, and I'm trying to look at their eyes. What I'm gonna say, especially when they eat the roll, I see their eyes open, like I say, like, okay, they like it, because I have an explosion of flavors on that one. I'm very proud that everything in house we make it in house. Even the soy sauce we make it here.
Wow.
So we infuse the soy sauce. The only thing I don't make in here is the tostadas, which I buy this beautiful tostadas, very crispy, very light. But the rest, even the salt, we make our own curing salt. Then we dehydrate it. We use that one to flavor things. We use our own spices. So everything is made with love. So it's every single dish in here, and in this small menu that I started small, now it's probably 20 dishes in the menu. It's very strong. So the all dishes are pretty strong. I love it.
Very strong. I understand too. You do a ton.
If I want to recommend somebody who comes to the Hummingbird, is start with rolls, go to one ceviche from the 6, 7 in the menu, and try to pick up one hot dish. Don't let the hot dish to leave, because we got the strong dishes. There's not many. To be honest, this is the smallest kitchen I ever have in my life. I only have 4 burners.
Wow.
That's it. And we did pretty good numbers in here. So.
Well, I remember one hot dish you have, which everybody should order, is the octopus.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
That's good. Can you tell our listeners what that is?
So the octopus, I'm proudly, like I'm very strong on seafood, like I say. So the way we cook the octopus, it takes us 6 hours, but we'll do it. We'll make it happen. So, we braise the octopus, and then after that we let them rest on their own liquids for 6 hours until it's completely cold. Then we cut it, and then it's very tender, but it's very nice flavor, because part of the things I put into my octopus, I put the chicha morada, which is a Peruvian purple corn, to keep that nice, beautiful inking, ink color, and it's strong. Then I get inspired a little bit on the Spanish dish, the pulpo a la gallega. So we put the Spanish paprika. We make a Peruvian leche de tigre aioli. We have these confit potatoes, and we make a mix of sobrasada, which is the chorizo, Spanish chorizo with feta cheese. No, it's delicious.
It's insane. It's insane. Like it's that sopressata feta cheese emulsion. It's so unexpected.
Yes.
But it works so well with it.
Yeah, it was. Like octopus and chorizo is the perfect combination. Yeah. I put it on a paste, but it works very well.
It works really well. And then the other dish I want you to tell our listeners about is something that I got a real kick out of when I was here, and that is the papa no rellena.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that?
Yeah, that was a beautiful mistake. I always call it, because I'm sure there is many chefs that want to hear me right now, if they have access to this one. That's most of the most beautiful dishes we create are mistakes. So papa no rellena is come from the papa rellena. Papa rellena is a Latin dish, Peruvian. I'm gonna say in this case, because the Peruvians are gonna kill me if I say it's not Peruvian. It's everywhere in South America, to be honest. So it's a potato. It's a kind of mashed potato, but then you make like a la pupusa, let's say. Then you put the stuffing, you roll it like a little ball, and you fry it.
Yeah.
That's the papa rellena, stuffing potato, yeah? Sorry. The one thing I don't like about that one is that you have to make it, if you don't make it fresh, it doesn't make sense. If you make it like in advance, it's gonna get dry.
Yeah.
And then I didn't like it. I don't personally like it, but I wanna do it. So what I did, I just did the potato. I fry it, so no stuffing. Then when it comes out, really crispy and nice, then I break it and I put the stuffing in there. That's why I call it papa no rellena. So I put the stuffing on the top.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it was a mistake, because I was practicing and one of my chefs forgot to put the filling, and then he fried it. And then when I tasted it, I said, like, actually works. Let's do it the opposite way. And now it's one of the most popular dishes in here.
It's a beautiful dish too, and when it hits the table, everybody is like, I want some of that. So yeah. Well, hey, chef, as I said, congratulations. Everybody should come and check out the Hummingbird. This is a question we finish with all of our guests, and I think for you, it's a particularly relevant one, because, you've been so vulnerable in telling us the ups and downs of your career, and sort of like this beautiful journey that has brought you to this amazing new restaurant. But when you look back on this incredible journey, what are you most proud of?
I'm very proud of never give up. I will never give up. And that's come from the strength of the passion. So that's something that I will never give up, because I'm not doing anything, I'm doing everything I'm doing it because it's my passion of doing something. So there's no need to give up. It's just continue and continue and continue and pushing and pushing and pushing. And if somebody's there, never give up. Just follow your passion.
Yeah.
That's my only advice. Yeah.
Excellent advice, Chef. We're going to put all the details of the Hummingbird and the chef's profile in the show notes. But Chef, thank you for making time for us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to Brad, Ryan, and Ricardo for making the time for us. If you like what you heard today, dear listener, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a rating, a review, subscribe. Seriously, all that stuff really helps us make our way up the charts, both on Spotify and Apple, and help get our podcast to more people. We'll be back next week with another epic episode, but if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, even our website at the LA Countdown. That's TheLaCountdown. You can also find us on Instagram at LA Food Pod. That's LAFOODPOD.